left to Elliott. Oh, bicycle!
The shot, Bedoya with a goal, 1-0 Union.
Good evening and welcome to Union Insider. Alongside the club's all-time leading scorer Sebastian with 2 and former Union defender Shannon Williams, I'm Dave Leno. Guys, we're 9 games into the MLS regular season. The Union right now sitting 7th, sliding up from the 10th spot, and incrementally over time we're seeing the team improve in a lot of areas.
Yeah, I think on the last game we saw against Toronto, the team really played very well, especially the first half. I feel like it was probably their best half of the season, and they really look like the way they played last year. So if they keep the same way and putting, I think, the same type of pressure on the other team, I think we can see a much better, end of the season for the team, and at the same time try to get results away, which was a bit difficult during the beginning of the season.
I think we're definitely starting to see them figure some things out, especially in the offensive end. They're doing a really good job of connecting that front three, and as the front three goes, I think the team goes. In 9 games, I think they've done a really good job of getting better from game to game. It might not be the points and the totals that we want, but I think that they're getting there, and I think a 4-goal game against Toronto shows that.
You're spot on. Hopefully this is the start of the ascension for the club. Now, while in the midst of the Champions League run that has seen the Boys in Blue reach the semifinals, their league form had to suffer to the point where Jim Curtin's team entered Saturday's game winless in their previous 5 MLS games. But it turns out all that was needed was a full week of practice to have the Union looking like their former selves. Here's all that went down in Chester.
Okay, guys, look, it should feel great to be home again. Okay, right, let's be relentless now. Attacking on one side, finishing plays off on the other, getting into that assist zone, cutbacks will be on. It's a wet night too, so let's shoot from distance, test the goalkeeper, follow shots, right? We've talked about what the next 5 games mean for this group, okay? The importance of the next 5 games and what we're going to do, okay? The talk is cheap though. It's time to do it on the field for us, okay? 5-game run now. We set the tone tonight with 3 points. Let's go. Let's go, guys.
Boys, let's go. From the opening whistle, we dictate the pace to serve home. Let's go. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Team, we go.
We got
Back club, all right? Let's make sure tonight is the start of a run, that streak that we get on, all right? Let's stay come back defensively. We know we're hit on a transition, all right? So let's take advantage of that. Let's make sure we keep a shot at home, and let's get 3 points.
Carranza, really good running behind, good cross, it's going to fall for Gazdag, what a save, Johnson, and it's off the defender and in! Disaster for Toronto at the back after a top-class save from Sean Johnson, and in the most fortuitous of circumstances, Philadelphia Union have the opening goal. Union back on top here, another long ball, and that one is a kept in play or not. Right on the line, Sean Johnson perhaps wishes he didn't keep it in right now. Bedoya, far post, it's taken another deflection. They have a second goal. Sean Johnson absolutely furious, but the Union players celebrate. They double the lead. McGlynn, Wagner on the overlap. McGlynn on his left foot. Oh, it's off the woodwork. Super hit from the youngster. They used the decoy of Wagner so well. Almost a third for Philly. Bedoya. Nice turn. Gazdag and I think he's going to be onside. Racing in on goal, Sean Johnson against and there's no mistake. Philly have absolutely destroyed Toronto FC in this first half. Given away again, and these are the areas that Gazdag, Carranza and have absolutely destroyed Toronto. Ball towards the back post, and it's in again. Ua's got his hat-trick. Those 3 are just as good as any front 3 in Major League Soccer. 4-0. Any lingering doubt that Toronto FC could come back in has been extinguished. Insigne looking for the return, gets in behind! Vintage Lorenzo Insigne. Now, may not affect the overall outcome of this game, but a little taster of maybe what's to come this season. Went back inside, little ball for Larea, and he's found the corner. 2nd week in a row he's scored. And there is the final whistle. Philly dominant early. Toronto a little bit of character late on. Mo, your overall thoughts on the match?
well-deserved 3 points for the Union. They started off this game in incredible fashion. Second half, a much better performance from TFC, but ultimately the mountain was built way too high in that first half. And this is a great turn of events for the Philadelphia Union as they look towards Wednesday's match.
So, guys, it's back to the winning ways for the club, and we got to start out with the obvious. Michael Uhre has a hat trick, the first career hat trick in MLS for Uhre, a guy that was goalless in the last 6 across all competitions coming into the Toronto game. Had a standout performance.
Yes, and it's great for him. I think like he really needed that to really put his confidence, at the highest, entering, now, the almost, third of the season point. And for a forward, you need that, those goals. He scored 2 against Montreal, which we thought he was okay, maybe a breakthrough, and we're going to see him, having more in front of the goal. But scoring 3 at home is very important in front of the fans. He was a bit under critics, not being more involved, into the goals with the team. So having him, now against this hat trick, I really feel like he's going to be much more free to play, and we're going to see, I think, more goals from him this season.
As somebody that can score double-digit goals, it's definitely been a slow start to the season, but we're hopefully seeing that pick up now. 3 goals definitely will build his confidence going forward, and we hope that he can really be that Union talisman, that Union number 9 that they've been looking for.
Yeah, the Union now, since the start of 2022, have 5 hat tricks. That's 2 more than any other club. And how about the play of Daniel Gazdag as well as 2 assists along with Carranza and Bedoya in that game. Also paces MLS in assists and leads MLS in goals plus assists, getting a lot of productivity out of the number 10, and that's exactly what the Union need.
Yeah, when Gazdag play well, the team play well in front, and you saw like when he connects the passes with the forward, he can find Carranza, he can find Uhre, and then you can see the movement as well he has, in the box, which is very important. He really attracts a lot of attention from the other team, which then, open more space for the other player of the team. So it's great to have him, in a high as well, even if maybe he just scored from the penalty kick right now, but he's involved a lot in the construction of the game, and he can find like the great pass he found in Uhre, for the second goal of Uhre during the game, who I think is kind of those passes that when you are a forward, and I feel like Uhre kind of play like me a little bit, like try to go in a space, and you need to have those players that when you make the runs, they're going to find you, and it's right now, it's a great connection between those two.
And it was also great to get Kai Wagner back. What did you make of him on that left side coming up the flank, especially when Larea got forward for Toronto?
He does a really good job of making sure that they keeps the other defenders back, especially when he goes and attacks. We know about his service. We know about the assist. He's definitely a big part of that defense and why they were able to do so well.
Did you guys see anything that the Union can take away in the first 15, 20 minutes where they were dictating play, which was different from the prior games in MLS, of course, against Chicago, also in Cincinnati, where Toronto was losing the ball pretty quickly out of the midfield, and Martinez and others were ball winning and had a field day in that opening 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah, and I think we kind of know that with Shannon because we play under Jim, and it's kind of the thing he's always telling us. When you play at home and you want, to get, control on the game, it's like the reaction you need to put as soon as you lose the ball. And the team was very good doing this in the first half. As soon as they lose the ball, they win it back right away. And it was such a huge thing in the first half because it was wave after wave after wave on the goal of Toronto. And they scored, those 3 goals in the first half, which was really well deserved. And we just saw one team in the first half.
We're stepping away for a bit, but when we return, we'll chronicle another huge step for the team's development in Chester and a big change coming soon. Stay close. We're coming right back. We're back with This Week in Union History presented by Premier Orthopedics. This week in 2018, the Union took on DC United in a back-and-forth affair with both teams ahead at different points. The clincher came in the 72nd minute via a Bork Dochkow strike, his first goal for the club. Welcome back with Sebastian Latou and Shannon Williams. I'm Dave Leno. With no opponent on the schedule this weekend, I'll hand it over to the guys for their keys to the rest of the season. As always, presented by Subaru. Seba, you're up first.
Yes, and I'm going with the defensive pressure. So what I mean about that, it's we saw in a game, especially against Toronto, like the 2 types of pressures the team put. Playing high, putting pressure on their half, try to, keep really like the connection between all the line time between the center backs to the forward, like 35, 40 yards, but always try to win those second balls, try to react as soon as the ball is lost by the team and win it back right away. And when they do that, especially at home, they are great. But sometimes when they win the game like they did, they can drop, but the same, keep the same type of distance between everybody. And then when they win the ball, try to go fast with the front 3, which they are always good at, and try to get another goal on on counter-attack, which we know the team is very good at it as well. So if they know how to always know what type of defensive pressure and be always connected together as a team, I think they can be very, very good and really put a lot of problem to any team in MLS.
Shannon, what's your key?
For me, it's going to be the front three connection. I think that the front three are as good as anybody in MLS when they're clicking and scoring goals, and can they keep that going? Seba talked about the defensive pressure. When they win the ball higher up the field and they find that front three, they do a great job of combining. We know about their work rate as well, so that connection of the front three, Gazdag, Carranza, Ura, is really important, and you're seeing them reap the benefits when they can really get it going.
Undoubtedly one of the best front threes in MLS. Last week, Jay Sugarman, Tim McDermott, and others were joined by officials from Chester to break ground on the Wisfis Bank Sportsplex. The project represents significant investment in the city of Chester with a projected $90 million impact over the next decade. Here's a little bit of what was said at last week's announcement.
It was 13 years ago when we started playing at this iconic stadium of Subaru Park, and it really was the starting point of our journey towards transforming the Chester waterfront. We are tremendously excited to celebrate the next step in that journey, a tremendous milestone in the ceremonial groundbreaking of the Wisfis Bank Sportsplex.
3, 2, 1,
And we expect nearly 500,000 visitors every year to the Wisfis Bank Sportsplex, and what will hopefully be over or near a $100 million economic impact over the first decade.
And one of the best things about being an owner is the chance to see ideas and dreams turn into reality. And now we have a chance to connect all of this in a way we've never had before. To connect our club, our academy, and this community in a way that's never been possible before. To make this campus a destination 365 days a year. And we're very excited to join Wisfis and everything they stand for to make the Wisfis Sportsplex a key part of the Chester community and the union going forward.
Our whole business model is intertwined with supporting our communities, because when our communities do well, our customers do well. When our customers do well, Wisfis does well, and then we can continue to invest in our communities. And we are so excited about the beginnings of this partnership and looking forward to the construction of the building just on the other side of this parking lot.
Guys, how does having a facility like that down in Chester improve the quality of life for the players, whether they're playing or also in training?
I mean, it's like there's no comparison. It's you need that if you want to be one of the best club in this country and the best team, all around the world and keep growing. You need to get the facilities that, of course, put a lot of the thing for the first team, but as well for the second team and for the academy. And then everybody is all together. I've been in this type of system in France. You feel more like the same mentality, the same play from everybody, and you can see when you are a young player and you can keep an eye and be like, hey, I would love to, maybe train on this field with the first team, one day. It gives you a little bit more motivation and everybody kind of work well together. So it's a great thing, to have, developing and starting to get built, this year, but it's going to be an awesome thing for the future.
For me, Seba and I were here in 2010 and seeing what we had then and seeing what these players are going to have coming up soon. It's great. It's really important for the club. We know what they've done on the academy side of things and producing players and not only putting them in the first team, but also being able to sell team players to Europe. We hope that continues, and for me, it can only get better with the facilities down there. It's going to make a huge difference, not only for the players, but for the city of Chester.
It's going to look drastically different down there adjacent to Subaru Park, but I love that it's going to benefit the Chester community as well, where community members can come in and play in the Sportsplex. And you guys both mentioned the academy setup, and I often see it training where some of the younger guys are hanging around watching first team training, whether, at the training fields or inside Subaru Park. So you can get like a 12, 13, 14-year-old maybe after school or in between that and training can go and watch the first team. I think it's very beneficial.
Yes, it is. It just like kind of keeps the dreams. You know that you are that close, but in the same time, it's being that close. Make you keep being serious, work hard, and sometimes know what you need to do to be at this position. So it's great, to have that in Chester and have everybody from the academy, from the first team, being all together there, because I think the team is going to grow very fast.
Up next, fresh off setting another incredible team record, we sit down with three-time Goalkeeper of the Year Andre Blake in this week's Player Profile. That and more when Union Insider returns. We're back with our Nugget of the Week presented by Chick-fil-A. Andre Blake made his 212th career Union start this past weekend. That put him past Ray Gaddis and into first place for the most starts in Union history. With 9 more appearances, he will catch Gaddis in that category too. Welcome back to Union Insider. I'm Dave Leno. The term legend gets thrown around pretty casually these days. However, there are still those who can truly amaze, whether it's his incredible consistency or any one of his jaw-dropping point-blank stops. Andre Blake qualifies. Often loves saying brick wall Blake. We sat down with the 3-time Goalkeeper of the Year for this week's Player Profile presented by Subaru.
Taking his block, it comes around Jamilko, save, Andre Blake.
I got involved in soccer 5 or 6. I love soccer. I would just want to play every single day, every chance I get. I would just want to play soccer. At the age of 15, I really started to believe that it is possible for me to be a professional soccer player. My parents have a tremendous impact on me and my life and me making some decisions. They did a really good job of raising me, and they are one of my biggest motivation. One of the best piece of advice I've gotten is get better, not bitter.
Get back onside, sell around, right up goal, Blake just hits that above the bar.
I think my teammates would describe me as a goalkeeper that gets the job done, simple but effective, good communicator, and just again, keep things simple and help out my teammates. I do have pre-game routines and rituals. I have to make sure that I eat a certain time, I take a shower, I have to take a nap, not more than 30 minutes or 45 minutes, and I have to eat super light and just make sure that I'm in a cool, chill mood until it's game time. The biggest moment right now of my professional career was winning the Eastern Conference Championship. It was just a big moment, I've been at this club forever. It's my only, it's the only professional club that I know, and I've seen this club grow. I've grown with this club. I've given it my all, and I think the club and the city deserve something, and to have a group of guys come in and work as hard as we can and be able to lift the trophy was a fulfilling and amazing feeling. I love music. I think I have a talent for playing the drums, but I've lost that talent from not using it. I play video games, I listen to music, I love live music, so give me some good reggae live music and I can sit and watch that all day. The city is great. One of my most favorite things about Philadelphia is the city. It's great. The fans are amazing, and all around it's just a beautiful place to be, a beautiful place to play. Something that people might not know about me, and they probably should, is that I'm very easy to talk to. I'm approachable. I'm down to earth, and whenever you're in need of advice, feel free. To be honest, I don't think I can single out one save right now, but I'll say one of the most important saves I've made is that save in the Eastern Conference Finals again against New York City. We were losing 1-0, and I think if I didn't make that save, they go up 2-0, it would have been game over.
We're stepping away one more time, but when we come back, Seba and Shannon will tell you who they are keeping an eye on for the rest of the year. We're wrapping up this edition of Union Insider on the other side. Starting this year, every Union League match is on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. Sign up today to make sure you don't miss a minute of the action. You can also check out the live whip-around show, MLS 360, or if you missed out live, you can relive every moment with full match replays. And get this, if you're a T-Mobile subscriber, you get this whole year of Season Pass content free of charge. Final segment here on Union Insider, and it's now time for our AllState players to watch. Both Seba and Sheanon have selected a player who they're going to watch closely for the rest of the year. Seba, who do you got?
I'm going with Jack McLean. Just I feel like he has been very good. He already won his little place right now in the midfield instead of Leon Flack, and he can really bring a lot of good passing into the midfield. I think the team need a little bit for building their games, but is he going to keep playing at a high level? Is he going to kind of fail a bit more part at the end of the season? We don't know. So I really hope for him he keep playing, keep his confidence, get even better each game, and really like become one of the starters of the teams that nobody can move. And we'll see what's the limit for him. But I think if he does a great season, the team will probably be very high in the standing. And then I don't know what's going to happen to him.
I know teams on the schedule are definitely going to try to deny McGlynn time and space on the ball. Shannon, who's your player for the rest of the year to watch?
I'm going to go with Gazdag. He was an MVP candidate last year. If he can keep this pace, I expect him to be in that same conversation again this year. He's definitely the most important part of that Union attacking third. As he goes, the team goes. The assists, the goals, he can provide it all, and he's definitely the Union's most important player in these first 9 games, and hopefully will continue to be so moving forward.
Yeah, could be another MVP candidate for the second consecutive year. Well, that will do it for us tonight. For Sebastian Latu and Shannon Williams, I'm Dave Leno. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.